Ever since I was a little sailor boy, said see you later boy, I loved water and nautical themes.
I'm gonna be like that freaking guy right there when I grow up. What do you think about that, Mom?
Could you please flush the toilet? See, I picked Squirtle, SpongeBob. Ever heard of it? I freaking love Aquaman. Barnacle Boy 2. Have you ever seen the word swashbuckler? How about blunderbuss? Happened there? They just make the words cool now? Alright, I just gotta say it. Swashbuckler. Sea shanties are the most unbelievably kick-ass of work tunes that you can belt out with the boys getting sloshed over a bottle of grandma's soup. And The Legend of Zelda The Wind Waker completely defined my childhood. A character around my age, no less, is thrusted into premature maturity, where you're never quite ready for what's in store, but you still have to be. Now this is pretty much every Zelda game, but this is the one where they let that goddamn dog out and get a 7.8. While doing it, it's too much dog. Water, unlike land, is unpredictable. Land is static and a constant most of the time. And water is none of that shit. It just can't be controlled. And that's why I was obsessed with this overworld as a kid. The ocean can be absolute chaos on one side of the spectrum, but also gentle and relaxing come the opportunity. But with the Wind Waker, it was the power of the seas in the palm of my hand. And here comes Sea of Thieves showing its ass, where you control nothing. It's the mid-2010s. Rare, of all game devs now under Microsoft, are tinkering with this massively multiplayer online game, but this one has a little nautical nonsense? It's ambitious, the largest beast they had ever tackled as a studio. After a slow and steady decline in output and quality over the years since Rare's unfortunate departure from the Nintendo dugout, they really needed to hit this one out of the park. Because they can't strike out again. Bottom of the ninth. 2 outs. Alright, that's enough. Bases loaded. Sea of Thieves was shaping up to be not only Rare's most ambitious project to date, but also one of Microsoft's. Especially as the Xbox One was already floundering. Sea of Thieves finally comes out and it's... There's not much to do in this vast, unforgiving sea for some reason, but there were these apparent small glimmers of hope. The sailing mechanics were some of the most well-tuned I had felt, and the payoff for landing a solid parking job goes surprisingly harder than the parallel parking flash games you played in computer lab. The art design has just enough grit to it, but is of course a fun animated cartoon. It reminds me of how DreamWorks was called the budget Pixar for the longest time, and once DreamWorks came into their own, there emerged the even lower budget studios. These are the characters in Sea of Thieves, and I mean that in the best way. Juxtapose these dorky little guys with some of the best water I've ever seen. I almost want to take a shower. I won't. And the scores, oh my, Robin Beanland just up and decided to fuck around and make one of my favorite soundtracks of all time. I said I loved sea shanties, but come on, dude worked on Conquer, Blarney Kong, he was bound to give us another classic. This is the type of music I knew I was going to be nostalgic for when the game came out. A great foundation, but a lot of us were wondering why this game was pushed out. It was called an open beta, a scam, but you could see the potential. I think most all of us could because they were so close. But what was missing that made it so empty? While Sea of Thieves' visuals teamed with personality, its gameplay did not. It got stale fast. Sure, you can go do a little X marks the spot action, but it lost its longevity quickly with not too many options beyond a few simple mission types. And of course PvP, or a little pie versus pie action, if encountered. But I don't care too much to talk about what a flop this game was, because it's not anymore. Sea of Thieves has finally turned into the game it deserves to be. Quality of life updates like fishing, cooking, hunting are simple additions but add so much personality and options to a game about pirates that somehow didn't have it in the first place. More enemy types over time were welcome. You've got sirens, ocean crawlers, little ghost guys. I don't know what they're called. Whereas before you fought skeletons, that's it, and it got lame real quick. New currency options can be very confusing and admittedly pretty unnecessary it feels, but I don't think I've spent $1 on this game since it came out, and I somehow had enough money to get one of the new pets. This is my little fox. His name is Frog.
Frog and Iroh like to sleep on the bed, play a little Sea of Sleeps. That's fucking dumb. Frog and Iroh like to sleep on the bed, play a little Sleeps of Thieves. You know, we'll just cut it out.
However, there are also the various story expansions and many other additions I'm just not familiar with, and that's a point I'd like to make. I haven't nearly explored everything Sea of Thieves has to offer. I might, but I haven't. And they only keep adding more to the game.
I enjoy it more and more every time I've logged on since release.
And the progression is only cosmetic, so the time you've spent away losing your sea legs, it's just as easy to set sail like you never left. It's welcoming, and no one has left you behind. This isn't a review, but I will say I find myself coming back every so often to fool around with the gang or just to sail by myself. Maybe hang out at a sea post and fish alone with my thoughts.
Yeah, Goku freaking will beat Superman, and I can't wait for the next unfortunate motherfucker to ask me why.
And I appreciate that it doesn't have to be overbearing in plot or objective, constantly going all the time. It's a game you can have your own thoughts to, at your own pace.
This is also not an in-depth analysis, so I don't know what I'm getting at other than to tell you it's nice, and it's fun.
As the ship goes down with this think piece essay nonsense, my favorite tune to play is Be Calmed, as it offers an appropriately nostalgic look back on my day today.
So that's all I got. My eye patch is sweating. Wow. Pet a cat or a dog too. That's chill. Thanks for watching. Take care.